initiatives and engagements with the community all over the state. And it makes me so proud, not just because this has been one of my priorities since leaving as a judge and running to be the Attorney General. Human trafficking has been just at the forefront of my mind, and not just because I'm the Attorney General, because I am a mother of a young child, and I know that we want to do everything we can to protect those that have fallen victim to this really horrific, atrocious crime. And so today is really exciting. We know from studies that 9 out of 10 victims of trafficking, and these are folks, children and adults that have fallen into this cycle of trafficking, and that can be through coercion, using violence, drug addiction. We've even seen it with young people where their trafficker, calls themselves their boyfriend and withhold or gives attention, love, gifts, coerces them into do things to keep these young people. Coercion takes many forms. And that is really what we see traffickers that are faced with. And what we know from studies is that 9 out of 10 victims of trafficking over the course of being trafficked will come into contact with a healthcare system. And so why is it important that we in Florida today are standing at Tampa General Hospital, one of our largest healthcare providers in the state, to make this announcement? That is because we are now going to the root of where we can identify victims and rescue them. And that should be everyone's core mission across this state, whether you're in law enforcement, whether you're an organization set up to help victims, or whether you're a layperson that has seen a sign, whether you're a layperson that has heard about getting involved. Our mission should be finding, identifying those victims and rescuing them from these organizations and individuals that are trafficking our most vulnerable. So we're here at Tampa General Hospital where we see, I say we, did you like that? In no way am I medically qualified to see anyone, but those great people standing behind me see about 780,000 people a year, from emergency rooms to inpatient to outpatient. That in and of itself creates an amazing opportunity to identify victims, because again, we know 9 out of 10 people will come in contact with a healthcare system. And what today's announcement is about is the commitment by Tampa General Hospital to join our 100% Club. That is an initiative we've started through the Attorney General's office and our direct support organization, where we have businesses from around the state, organizations from around the state sign up and say, we're committed to training all of our employees that want to be trained in spotting human trafficking and helping be a part of this initiative. And I would dare say that a healthcare institution, recognizing that stat, that is likely going to be the organization that most likely comes in contact with a victim, today's announcement is a huge win in our fight against trafficking. It is also unique in that Tampa General Hospital will become the first hospital that joins this initiative and pledges to train its workforce in how to spot human trafficking. They've also engaged in a campaign, not only to make this an awareness campaign throughout their hospital, but they're putting up specially created signs within places that victims might see those so that they can reach out and contact a line to help them get services. And that's 855 FLA SAFE, Florida's human trafficking hotline. So I want to thank Tampa General Hospital. I want to thank John Corris. You're going to hear in just a moment from a very brave individual who was once trafficked, once had contact with the healthcare system and could have been rescued, and why this is so important as we gain more awareness and gain more understanding of how this works and plays out in society. It's not always how you might imagine it or see it in the movies. Sometimes it happens right under our noses. And it's places like this, people like this, specially trained with the passion to be a part of this, that is really going to be our soldiers on the front lines. So I want to thank everyone standing up here today. Kim, I know everyone is anxious. Kim Figueroa, she is a prior victim, and she has been so brave to use her story and her experiences to help us better understand how we can be more effective and engaged with our victims, and better identify those out there that may not be seen. So this partnership is going to be great. We're so proud of TGH, and let me just say, we have 325 hospitals throughout the state of Florida. 325 hospitals. I think John Kors is gonna mirror what I would like to see, and he is also going to challenge the other hospitals to join the 100% Club. I've asked him to help us come up with a special training for medical providers specifically, and I issue today on National Human Trafficking Awareness Day a challenge to all 325 hospitals. Join Tampa General Hospital. Commit to training 100% of your workforce in human trafficking signs, how to spot and report human trafficking activity, and most specifically, how we can better engage, identify, and rescue victims. This kind of announcement indeed makes us a stronger and safer state. There are many reasons folks want to be in Florida right now, and I would say it's because we have organizations, businesses, hospitals, that are engaged and working with leadership, engaged and want to be a part of governing by we the people under a rule of law. They want to be a part of it, and this is just a great example. So if you are watching and you want to be a part of this and learn more about human trafficking, you can go to youcanstopht.com, youcanstopht.com. If you suspect or you yourself would like to report suspicious activity, or you think someone may be a victim of human trafficking, again, you can call 1-855-FLA-SAFE. So thank you so much for joining us here today. I'm very excited to bring up, and we'll bring up others. I know these guys to my right need no introduction. We're also going to hear from them, but I'm very excited to bring up John Kors with Tampa General Hospital.
Oops, sorry. I do want to echo something the Attorney General just said. You know, one of the many great things about the state is we are a law and order state. We have leadership in Tallahassee, we have leadership at the county level, we have leadership at the city and local levels that believe in the importance of creating a safe and resilient community. And I am proud to be standing here today, and I am extremely proud to be to represent one of the first, really the first hospital to take on this challenge. And I do accept the challenge of training everyone in our organization that are on the front lines of this serious issue to learn how to identify, treat, and rescue the victims so they can become survivors and they can build resiliency and they can thrive in our state. So thank you very much for your leadership. Every year, millions of men and women and children are trafficked worldwide, including right here in the United States. Unfortunately, this heinous crime even occurs right here in Florida. Fortunately, we have strong leadership here in the Sunshine State who are committed to putting an end to human trafficking. General Moody has made it one of her top priorities. She's working to make Florida a zero-tolerance state for human trafficking. And she's working closely with her partners in law enforcement like Chief Lee Burkaw. She's also teamed up with leaders on the local level like Chair Ken Hagan. Plus, she's working with businesses throughout the state of Florida to raise awareness in public places, train team members to detect signs, and encourage folks to report crime. This takes all of us. At Tampa General, we're proud to be one of those partners. In fact, we are the first hospital in the state to join the 100% Club. Like General Moody, this is a priority for us too. We are committed to promoting health and wellness in our state. We are dedicated to the safety of our patients and our team. We strive for exceptionalism in healthcare. Response and treatment are not enough. Prevention is key. So working with General Moody's office, the team at TGH is actively working to prevent human trafficking. Already, hundreds of team members at TGH have completed the program training. Our team members are wearing badges to generate additional awareness. Right here, I have my own badge on. We have posted information in break rooms and in public places so we can maintain image and visibility around this important issue. Our work does not end here. It has only just begun. We are an active partner in this effort. We'll continue to train, raise awareness, detect signs, and work to end human trafficking. I want to praise one of our team members who led this effort, Carly Wright, in the Office of Education. She reached out and asked for information from the Attorney General's office. She led our efforts to participate in the 100 Club. Carly Wright is a shining example of exceptionalism Floridians find when they come to Tampa General Hospital. Because of team members like Carly, Tampa General is one of the leading academic health systems in the nation. Thank you, Carly, for your good work. Yeah. Carly's also a great example to all of us because this is exactly what I want my team members to be doing every single day. They need to be empowered to make change. They need to be empowered to educate. They need to be empowered to make a difference. Your voice matters, and you are making an absolute difference in this particular situation, and you are saving lives because of your efforts. Thank you, General Moody, Chief Bearcaw, and Chair Hagan for joining us today to mark this day. We're grateful for your efforts to lead the fight against human trafficking in our state and across the nation. Thank you so much for your leadership. And thank you all for being here. Now I'm going to ask Commissioner Ken Hagan to come on up and address the audience.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's an honor for me to be here regarding an evil that not only affects our community, but the entire state of Florida, the entire country, and nations around the world, human trafficking. I want to first of all thank the Attorney General Moody for inviting me to be here, but more importantly, I want to thank her for her steadfast leadership in protecting our citizens and making Florida the very best state to live, work, and play. I'm proud but not at all surprised that to hear that TGH is the very first hospital to join the 100% Club. Tampa General is always on the cutting edge, and their efforts to teach people how to identify and report human trafficking will no doubt become a model that healthcare providers around the state will follow to better identify, aid, and serve survivors who find themselves in their care. Florida ranks third in the nation for the number of calls to the National Human Trafficking Hotline, and unfortunately, Tampa Bay still serves as a hub for traffickers. But like General Moody, Tampa General Hospital, and the Florida Legislature, Hillsborough County, and its community partners are dedicated to ensuring the safety of human trafficking survivors and showing them the compassion, care, and commitment to justice that they so desperately need. The Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners is proud to recognize National Human Trafficking Prevention Month, and today, National Human Trafficking Awareness Day, with a presentation that will be made at our board meeting next Wednesday. But in fact, this is a problem that we are dealing with every day in Hillsborough County. In 2019, the Board of County Commissioners unanimously created the Hillsborough County Commission on Human Trafficking. The purpose of this commission is to promote the awareness of human trafficking in Hillsborough County, about public awareness, and to establish opportunities for the public and people in key industries to recognize the indicators of human trafficking and to learn how to take appropriate action. Additionally, the Commission on Human Trafficking aids survivors and supports local, statewide, and federal efforts to identify opportunities to assist them, including by improving outcomes through data collection, sharing, and analysis. Rest assured that the dedication by the Commission on Human Trafficking, our community partners, and the 100% Club will continue to send a strong message that we will not tolerate this scourge in Hillsborough County. I want to thank John Curris and Attorney General Moody for all of their efforts to eradicate this heinous crime. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Hagan. He has been involved as a leader in this county for decades, and I don't say that to give you grief about your age. I say that to brag about your willingness to engage and be a part of solving key issues that really add to the strength of this county. Thank you so much, Commissioner Hagan. And Carly, you are what all of us should strive to be, and that is to be a part of the solution every day. Finding a purpose in our lives is so important, and I can tell that you are driven by this, and we just thank you so much. Thank you for being who you are, and thank you for being such a great collaborator and instigator, really the spark of why we're all standing here today. Thank you, Carly. And without, I'm sure it needs no introduction, we will bring up the new, I can still say new, right? Tampa Police Chief Lee Burkaw.
Thank you, General Moody, and it's very important that we have a partnership, and we do, but adding the hospitals and training here is just another step forward. You know, General Moody, you said it during Super Bowls and large-scale events that human trafficking doesn't just happen at those events, and it's clear that you're following through with your mission about that, is addressing this issue all the time, year-round, and not just at large-scale events. And this is just one more tool to recover victims. The Tampa Police Department is committed to recovering victims, and having hospitals and medical professional as part of that is going to make a huge difference. We take a proactive approach at the Tampa Police Department. We have trained all of our employees and our city employees, and we're committed to supporting organizations that help recover victims. Recently, in a grant program, we awarded a grant to a nonprofit in our community that does just that. Anything that the Tampa Police Department can do to make a difference, we will. After speaking with Mayor Castor and discussing the program that we reviewed with Attorney General Moody, we are committed to the Tampa Police Department to also being involved in this 100% Club. That's how important it is to the city of Tampa. So we're here to mitigate and prevent human trafficking as much as possible. So with that, I will turn it back over to Ashley Moody. Thank you.
Chief Burkaw is being a little bit shy. He has multiple higher education degrees and has specifically trained on human trafficking. I think it's such an asset to this community to have someone like that who understands it and has studied it and is truly has the dedication to engage with his own officers and make sure they're up to speed on the most recent trends. Thank you so much, Chief Burkaw. And I would like to bring up at this time Kim Figueroa. She has a story that will cause each of you to pause and ask how this could happen to anyone under our noses in our great state. She was trafficked for a long period of time, and her story might have gone unnoticed. It might not have helped us develop law enforcement programs. It might not have helped us learn how to better identify victims. It might not have helped us learn how to better serve and stabilize those victims, not just for their own sake, so that they can go on to productive and successful lives, but so that they can assist our law enforcement partners in putting those animals and monsters that would profit off other people's pain behind bars where they belong so they cannot victimize other people. If she had not been brave enough to tell her story, which I can imagine is not easy, having gone through something like that, if she had not been brave enough, we would not be up here standing today with such ingenuitive ways to engage our community, our victims, and law enforcement. I am so proud of her for becoming who she is as a person and using challenges that we all experience as challenges and adversity in our lives, and oftentimes we say, why us, why me? She experienced one of the worst things that could happen to an individual and made herself, because of that experience, stronger and driven and wanting to be an asset to this community. It is inspiring to me, Kim. Thank you so much, and thank you for being here today to share your story.
Thank you, General Moody. It's an honor to be here because I get to share my lived experience and my expertise with people that are willing to learn from me. And so as children, right, little girls and little boys, we all dream of what we want to become when we're older. That dream was snatched from me at such a very young age. You see, I didn't grow up playing with little toys and thinking about the doctor that I wanted to become, or the lawyer, or the police officer. Instead, I grew up in a traumatic home, experiencing all forms of abuse that you could imagine. And that would continue into my teenage years, where I would then go in and out of foster care systems and juvenile delinquency court systems until I would age out into homelessness. I would then continue to be trafficked for another 6 years, making a total of 13 years of my life, being sexually, physically, verbally, and mentally abused on a daily basis. That was my life. And throughout those 13 years, I cannot tell you how many times I came into contact with a professional, with a medical professional, to be treated for drug overdoses, substantial abuse that left scars on my body, sexual abuse as a child, and all of it was either unnoticed, no questions were asked, the red flags and indicators were not there to be known about, and so therefore, help was never there for me. I can remember as a little girl, CPI coming in a few times, case closed, and it would just carry on. My point to you today is the crimes that I experienced against me, the soul assassination crimes that took my identity, I want you to follow those indicators, those red flags, and the awareness that your hospital has given you, that the Attorney General Moody has created for you to know what the red flags are so that you can help other victims. I don't ever want to see another victim that has to go through 13 years of trafficking because no one wants to say anything. Your job is not just a job. You chose this profession. And so I'm asking you today, will you see me? Will you see me?
Kim, thank you so much. And I think the answer to that question is absolutely, we want to be trained on how we can better spot victims like Kim. And so I am so proud of today. I'm so proud of this hospital. I'm so proud of everybody that is here to hear Kim's story about how she encountered folks within the healthcare system who may not have been trained on what to spot. But if anybody wants to learn about the red flags on how to spot victims of human trafficking, you can go to youcanstopht.com. I know that healthcare providers from around the state are going to be specially trained now because of TGH's efforts, because of their partnership and stepping up with law enforcement and victims like Kim to develop a specialized training for medical professionals. Kim, thank you so much. Thank you everyone with us today. We have a presentation by Carly here. I think she would like to. We're happy to have you say a few words, Carly.
Thank you so
Carly
much.
was moved today. Is anybody else moved? Would like to come up and speak? Okay, Carly, go ahead.
Sorry. Just on behalf of the task force, our human trafficking task force that we developed here at Tampa General, so sliding here, I could not have done this on my own. It took a lot of individuals throughout the hospital to get this done. Thank you to our surgical services partners. Thank you, endoscopy. Thank you. Oh gosh, I said I wasn't gonna cry. So we want to present on behalf of the human Human Trafficking Task Force, to Kim for your bravery. Flowers.
I think anyone that speaks about this or meets Kim or meets any victim that has gone through that feels moved to become part of how we heal as a state and how we help others like Kim. So this is indeed, you heard me start off this press conference today by saying this is a unique and special day, and it is a very unique and special announcement. So thanks all standing up here with me, Commissioner Hagan, Chief Burkall, Mr. Chorus, the team of TGH, and certainly Kim. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to all our healthcare professionals who show up day in and day out to make sure that we are a healthy state, healthy people. Goodness, you are a shining example to all of us of what it means to serve. Thank you so much. And we'd be happy to take any questions that you might have.
Yeah, I have a question for, not sure if Nurse Carla would be willing to, but I'm just curious to have you come up and just explain when you start to meet somebody who's a patient who might have been trafficked, what they say to you, what those encounters are like, and how you decide now is the time to report it to authorities. Great, thank you.
Thank you. So the education that we were trained on from the Attorney General's office were to look for certain signs of things that the abuser will say to the person that's being trafficked. So, for instance, they may call them Poppy or my old man, or they have branding on their hands or on the back of their neck, or they're acting very timid. Maybe you ask them what their birthday is, but they have to think about it. Now, if any of us, if you ask us what our birthday is, we know it, we say it naturally. They may have to think because it's not really their birthday. It's the birthday that they've been told to say. So through the Attorney General's office, as well as Florida Board of Nursing required all of the nurses, about 5 or 6 years ago, we were required to take a 2-hour human trafficking awareness course in order to renew our nursing license a few years back. So this is additional information for us to be able to recognize. And for non-healthcare providers, it's all of our eyes should be open, all of our heads should be on the swivel looking for how we can help our community and protect our patients.
So you can just tell that they're afraid to
Yes, and then at that point,
get in trouble with their trafficker.
absolutely, at that point, then we would take the initiative to get the patient out of the room that where their abuser is at, maybe take them to the restroom, then question them, are you okay, are things okay, and make them feel comfortable. And by seeing the signs around the hospital, they will know, okay, I can feel safe to say this to our nurse. And for our team members, we're not encouraging them to do any investigation. We have a task force, we have a security team, we have our social workers, they're specially trained. We're just telling our team members, reach out and say something. If you're wrong, it's okay. But what if you're right? So we just want them to be able to feel empowered to speak up so that then we can bring in our social workers, our security team, and they can investigate and take it from there. Karley Wright. Thank you.
Yeah, I think you will hear that from many, many folks, and not just in the hospital setting, but common signs to look for is someone that always looks to another for approval to speak, reluctance to speak. Maybe their identification, license, other documents has been taken from them as being held by someone else. Many victims report that when their traffickers are trafficking them, they take things that they could use to gain independence. So these are common things that are in the community, but we know there are ways to specially train our healthcare providers, and that's why we're very excited today about our announcement. Any other questions? All right, well, thank you so much for being here today, and thank you so much to all our employees from TGH for helping us celebrate this big announcement. And Kim, thank you again for sharing your story.
Thanks, guys.